הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחad. Shabbat Shalom and welcome. We're so glad so many of you are joining us here, and for those of you who are joining us from the comfort of your home, we're glad you're here too. This is a family service. Normally we have about 7 kids up here, but because of illness and some kids still being on vacation, I feel really lucky that Oliver and Elliot are up here tonight with me, and we'll be leading the service. Continuing on page 10 with Maya Fay. All righty. Maya Fay Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fay Hayom. Go pick up a siddur. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fay Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fay Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. And just in time, Amelia, to light the Shabbat candles. So we're glad Amelia's with us too tonight. Notice her tights. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. One of the last family services, we played this Shabbat candle song, and so the long thin sheet that you have, hopefully close to you, please sing along. Bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the light of Shabbat. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. L'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. May you have a peaceful day, Shabbat Shalom. May you have a restful day. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the lights of Shabbat. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. L'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. As we watch the candles shine, Shabbat Shalom. Cover the challah, pour the wine. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the lights of Shabbat. Shabbat, Shalom. Time to take a big deep breath. Shabbat, Shalom. Special day for us to rest. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the lights of Shabbat. Hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Beautiful. All right, Amelia, can I ask you to please come read? Whoops, excuse me. Oh, come on, come on, come on. That one's for later. Okay, we offer thanks. We're on page 9 at the bottom.
We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope. For Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living. For Shabbat memories glowing even in the darkness. For Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God.
And continuing with Shir Hadash, which begins on page 13. And this is where I always like to say the English part of this song is on page 344. So if you want to put a little finger there. Shiru Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. And this brings us to L'chad Odi, welcoming the Sabbath Bride, which begins on page 20. We sing the first two verses and then stand to greet the Shabbat bride as if she were coming through the back door, and then sing the last verse on page 21. L'chad Odi likrat kala, panei Shabbat nekabala. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'debor echad, Hishmiyanu Elham Yechad, Adonai Echad, Ushemo Echad, L'Shem Uteret V'Elitila, Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala, Panei Shabbat Nekabala, Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala, Panei Shabbat Nekabala, Lekrat Shabbat Velhuneveha, Ki Mechor HaBraha, Merosh Mekeden Nesucha, Sof Mama Sepashashatila, Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala, Panei Shabbat Nekabala, Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala, Panei Shabbat Nekabala, Boi Veshalom Ateret Bala, Gams Haotzola Tokemune, Amsgula, Boi Chala, Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala, Panei Shabbat Nekabala, Lecha Dodi Lekrat Kala, Panei Shabbat Nekabala. And you may be seated. Amelia, please lead us in a psalm for Shabbat. And I have it marked here, honey, on page 22. Okay, so you read. You've read this before.
It is God to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, with 10-stringed harp, with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handwork. How great you are, your works, Adonai, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this.
Please join her. The righteous bloom like a date
Palm.
They thrive like a cedar planted in the house of Adonai, flush in the course of God. In old age they still produce fruit. They're still sap and freshness. Attending Adonai is upright, my rock, with whom there is no wrong.
Beautiful, thank you. And we've welcomed our Shabbat bride, so now we will welcome our Shabbat angels with Shalom Aleichem on page 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boahem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barhuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Peace be to you, O ministering angels, messengers of the Most High, Majesty of majesties, Holy One of blessing. And continuing at the bottom of page 29. So we've all been warming up together, and I really like what this says at the bottom of page 29. What does it mean to be called to worship? All serious activity requires preparation. The prayers and blessings that precede the Baruch Hu are warm-ups for the individual. Now communal prayer begins. The leader asks, "Are you ready to pray?" And we respond, okay. And we're fortunate to have two guests visiting tonight, so I'd like to call up Lael and Mira to open our ark for us. Okay, so you're going to pull this handle, and Mira, you pull this handle, and we're going to go ta-da. And then, Lael, we're going to open this too so everybody can see the Torahs. There you go, you're doing great. Okay, and then you can just stand here with me. Okay, let's all say the Baruch Hu together. Okay, please rise. And we're on page 28. Okay, so we're going to face the ark. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. And now, Lael, we're going to close this, but we're going to leave the doors open. You're doing great. Perfect. And you can go sit back down, then I'll call you back up. Thank you so much, and you may be seated. Continuing on page 31. So, one of you has read one of these before. Okay, you can just stand over here in front of the microphone, honey. You can take your book.
Praise to you, Adonai, from whom evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which and time and season glide. Through your breath guide the sails of the stars. Creator of the tide and time, creator of time and light. You guide the current of the day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set it course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Perfect, thank you. Okay. So then you know which one you're doing. Okay. And continuing on page 33. Okay, you've done this one before.
Passion and
Start with wisdom and wonder.
wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives us to us. And more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiness of your works in living language that gives it form?
Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Terrific. And turning the page, please join us in the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Bayet. And continuing on page 37, let's see if we can all do the Via Hafta in English. So all three of you come up. Okay. So page 37. Good. Okay, ready, read. Love
your God with
every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Beautiful. I think it's so wonderful that once a month we include families and have the kids up here on the bima so that as they're preparing to become bar and bat mitzvah, if they become very comfortable up here with the choreography of the service, and these three are doing an amazing job. That brings us to Vishamru on page 44, and please stand if you're able. This is the clapping one. B'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ladoretam barit olam. Vishamru b'nai Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ladoretam barit olam. Kishichimim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ladoretam barit olam. Kishet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ladoretam barit olam. Hayom hashevi Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ladoretam barit olam. And if I could ask you to please stay standing, this brings us to the Amidah, our standing prayer, which begins on page 46 and continues through page 62. I'll just remind you, this is your opportunity to read. We have great words in Hebrew in our Sidduras, beautiful English, or this is a time when you can just reflect on your week, say the words in your heart. Feel free to be seated when your prayer has completed. Adonai Sefer Tivtak Uvia Gita Hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. toward the bottom of page 62. We'll sing Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom Bimramah. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Ve'akol Yisrael. Vimru. Vimru. Amen. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Yachol Israel, Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Yachol Israel, Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Yachol Israel. Yahaseh Shalom, Yahaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'yachol Israel. All right. This week's Torah portion is Vayahi. It's in the part of the Torah where we're learning that Jacob is about to die. His 12 sons gather around his deathbed, and each receives an evaluation and a prediction of his future. And he blesses his grandchildren, Ephraim and Manasseh. This Devar Torah commentary is from URJ by Ellen and Peter Allard, and it's Creating Family Memories. And so I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give just about a minute of silence for you to think of a memory that you might have from your childhood that involves a Shabbat tradition, or a memory that you've continued with your families that involves a Shabbat tradition. And Ariel and Ava were here, but sadly their mommy wasn't feeling well, so they had to leave. But one of the things that I liked what they said is, I also asked the kids about how they feel when they're blessed. So Ava and Ariel said that when people are blessed, they feel joy. And their Shabbat traditions are they light candles, they do a blessing over the wine and juice, and they eat challah. And traditionally, they use leftover challah to make French toast on Saturday morning. So I think that might give you an idea of something, because at the end of the service, I'm going to give you an opportunity to share your tradition, if you wouldn't mind, or at the end of the drash. So again, this is by Ellen and Peter Allard. It's Friday night. The sun has fallen. You're about to have Shabbat dinner with your children. The blessings have been said. You've listened to the jingle-jangly sound of coins being added to the tzedakah box. The flames from the Shabbat candles flicker and dance. The juice in the Kiddush cup has been sipped. The braided challah has been tasted. But wait, there's another blessing. Before you eat your Sabbath meal, chicken soup or chicken fingers or grilled cheese or pizza, no matter what it is, as long as you're together, Jewish traditions provide us with two blessings, one for boys and one for girls. This is a lovely, gentle blessing that invokes the merits of our ancestors and gives us the opportunity to ask God to bless our children and support them through their lives. It's common to say this blessing while your hands are resting gently on each child's head, just as the patriarch Jacob did with his grandsons Ephraim and Manasseh. Any parent can say the blessing. You can say the words in Hebrew and then in English, just in Hebrew or just in English. The important thing is for your family to develop distinct rituals that keep you close together, emotionally and spiritually, and that also connect you to your past. These traditions shape and mold you as individuals, as families, and as people. After the blessings are said, all exchange hugs and kisses. It's a wonderful family moment when each person can speak from the heart, sharing personal words of gratitude, hope, encouragement, and praise for this Shabbat and for the week that lies ahead. These blessings hold the promise of magical connections. They set the stage for a tender tradition that is certain to help your children feel special and that will provide your family with warm, lasting Shabbat memories. So do any of you have a tradition that you would like to share? One of you told me that sometime, yeah.
We
You-
usually light the menorah.
Okay,
We make challah bread.
that's a wonderful Shabbat tradition. Amelia, anything you and Mommy do that on a regular basis?
We're very forgetful.
And that's okay too. In our family, we do this thing called high-low buffalo. And so we say a high from the week, a low from the week, and then buffalo can just be anything random. And that's sort of a tradition that we have around our table at dinner time. Anybody out there feel like you'd like to share a childhood memory or something that you do with your families? Jackie.
So we always lit one candle for every person. So if we had a big group, there were a lot of candles to light, and if we had a small group, there were just a few candles to light. But it was not just the traditional 2 candles.
I love that. I love that. Anybody else? Wendy.
Our tradition is more what we don't do. We embrace rest early and often on Friday nights. We
And-
tend to eat leftovers, and I know it's normally not traditional to watch TV, but we just do blankets and snuggle on the couch and just relax and unwind after the week is over.
I love that
We
tradition.
don't clean up anything. We leave the dishes and everything.
Perfect way to bring in Shabbat. Anyone else? All right. Well, I found a nice version of these children's blessings, so we'll listen to them.
בשמחה אלוהים כאפרים וכי מנשה.
This is for the boys.
May God make you like Ephraim and Menashe. V'simech Elohim kesara Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May God make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasim lecha shalom. V'yasim lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God be
Gracious unto you.
May God show you kindness and grant you peace. V'yasem lecha shalom. ואשם לך שלום.
So pretty. And that blessing can be for all of us. This brings us to words of healing, and you'll find the Misha Barak on page 253. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, bless these members of our community: Catherine Adele Celentano, Robin Cohen, Marty Glenn, Diana Heller, Evelyn Gross, John William Hellebrecht, Jeffrey Kern, Panina Kolakant, Barbara Kurtzman, Kit Levine, Karen Lavoie, Sharon Maslow, Rick Moss, Dave Podolsky, the Prophet family, Sylvia Ramsdell, Frida Russell, Margaret Schmidt, Elliot Schwartz, Cheryl Schelleb, John Sitters, Larry Spielman, Aaron Steck, Ellen Weingarten. And if there's somebody that you'd like us to hold in our prayers tonight, please feel free to say their name. Gary Schoenfeld. Anybody? Again, page 253. Misha Berach Avotenu Mechor Habraha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Barak Imotenu Mechor Habraha Leadotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And if you are able to, please rise for the Aleinu, which begins on page 282. Aleinu leshaberak ladon hakol, latet gedula, letzer breshit, shelo asanu ke haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot adama, shelo sam chalkenu chahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, vanaknu korim, umishtahavim umodim, lifne melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Top of page 284. Shamayim ve'yoser aretz, u'Moshe v'karom b'shamayim mima'al, u'shinat huzo, b'kov meromim, u'Eloheinu enod, emet malkeinu efesu lato, kakatuv Betorato, Vehayom, Vehashevota, Elevavecha, Ki Adonai hu halim, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת עינות. And the middle of page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. יום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו echad. And Lael and Mira, can I ask you to come close again? Or close? We opened, now we're going to close. There you go. And you have to give it a little bit of a push, but watch fingers. Good job. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. And you may be seated. Thank you so much. Let's see, we have a few birthdays this week. Elsa Podolsky is celebrating today. Jerome Becker is celebrating his birthday on Tuesday, January 10th, and Tanner Fry on Thursday, January 12th. We wish you a very happy birthday. And Jeff and Jackie Zucker are celebrating their anniversary on Wednesday, January 11th. Next weekend, Cantor Shira will be here, so please check the website or the newsletter so you can find out the events of the weekend. And the following weekend, Student Rabbi Page will be here. And again, Mindy sent out a beautiful newsletter, January newsletter, and it's chock full of information, so be sure to check it out or check the website. It will have a lot of information for you as well. And now if you would turn, please, to page 295. This Shabbat we remember Sam Kasanoff, uncle of Leslie Kasanoff, Jack Cerno, uncle of Jane Sachs, Frederick Oser, father-in-law of Richard Carcel, Ben Gilbert, father of Jane Sachs, Blanche Kirstenstein, mother of Phyllis Karras, and Clint George, husband of Sharon George. And we take into our hearts all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. And Sharon, would you please come up and light the Yortzeit candle in honor of Clint? And as Sharon returns to her seat, please rise if you're able. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'alma divrach cherutei v'almlik malchutei b'hayechon uv'yomechon uv'haye dekol beit Yisrael b'gala uv'izman kariv v'yimeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba Mevorach, Leolam Omei Omaya, Yitbarak, V'yishtabak, V'yitnabar, V'yitnaman, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudashah, Brihu, Leolam Minkol Birhata V'shirata, Tush Bahata V'nehelmata, Dam Miram B'yalma V'yimeru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'hayim Aleinu Ve'akol Yisrael, V'yimeru, Amen. Oseh Shalom Ben Romav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'akol Yisrael, V'yimeru, Amen. And you may be seated. I thought we would end tonight with this poem by Lanny Steve and Doug Kotler. Can you share that? And so hopefully there was a big piece. I know there's one up here in the front row that's not being claimed, but a big piece of paper, or you're near somebody who has it. I'd like us to read it together, please. Standing on the shoulders. In the garden, there's a tree, planted by someone who only imagined me. What love, what vision. I marvel at the gift. No fruit could be sweeter than this. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. As my people went from land to land, something passed from hand to hand. And it isn't just the words and stories of the ancient laws and golden glories. It's the way we study, the book we study. It's the way we study the way. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. Today my life is full of choice because a young man raised his voice, because a young girl took a chance. I am freedom's inheritance. Years ago they crossed the sea and they made a life that's come to me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. So in the garden I'll plant a seed, a tree of life for you to read. The fruit will ripen in the sun. The words will sound when I am gone. These are the things I pass along, the fruit, the book, and the song. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. Shabbat Shalom. Have a wonderful week, and thank you for being here tonight. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Kira, very much. My pleasure.